session October 2nd for Kickstarter backer Keith. And we have created characters, and now we're going to introduce them. Keith, lead us off. Introduce us to Sleuth.
Sleuth is Kevin Kearns. He's a savant. He just from the moment he was born, he sees patterns everywhere, and based on the patterns that he sees, he is able to make uncannily accurate predictions about what's going to happen next. This helps. Based on very little data, he can, predict things. For instance, based on subtle changes in a person's body language, he can tell if they're lying or if and how they're about to attack him. His mother died when he was very young, and 3 years ago, his father, a bus driver, was shot by some gang members while driving. To this day, his father is still in a coma. He works in his day job. He works at one of those storefront paralegal offices that help the poor with their legal issues, and he spends his nights dressed up like the Shadow in all black with a black fedora and a black mask, and helping the poor fighting crime.
Nice.
Yes. So.
Cool. Question about this paralegal services that are offered.
Yes.
Does this mean that sorry, I'm going up to remember his name. Kevin Kearns as a paralegal, does that mean he doesn't does it make much money, or is this a kind of government backed or a large corporation backed firm? Or
it is not large government. He basically does not make a lot of money. He gets paid. Okay. It's a job. He gets paid, but he lives in the poor part of town. The only reason his father's got medical care at all right now is because he was a union member, and he's got some, he's got benefits through that's keeping his father in the hospital. But he's got basically very little money, and so, but he doesn't have a lot of expenses either because he, got a cheap apartment, but he is because they recognize that he's a genius, that the paralegal office puts up with his eccentricities, like showing up late, and
cool.
They think they think he's coming in hungover when really he's just been out late at night, fighting crime.
Yeah, so that's great. Now, you picked defense as a power. How does that look like if the comic book about Sleuth? What's his defense?
It basically, he's able to uncannily dodge because he's aware of very subtle changes in maybe even air pressure or shadows, light, and so he's able to not be there. If someone, just based on the way a person's muscles are tensing, he can tell how they're going to attack him, so he's able to dodge even before his opponent knows how they're going to try to hit him.
Awesome.
And crazy good at getting out of the way. That's exactly what it is.
Cool. That is fantastic. I like it a lot. Thank you very much for introducing us to Sleuth. I'm just going to go in a circle from what I see on StreamYard. So, Tim, why don't you introduce us to your character?
I'm playing Alex Blackstone, and he is a construction worker in the same city. Due to a construction accident involving large amounts of lightning and some experimental chemicals, he has been kind of best term is infested with nanite, weird molecular crap that he has over time discovered that he can basically change his density. He doesn't get any bigger. He doesn't get any. He can't change his shape, but he can get really thick. Basically just really dense, like super hard, like as a rock, and that also enables his muscles to get much stronger. And basically he can lift things with a lot more mass than he would normally be able to do. He can He can get hit and things just snap off on him and stuff like that. For the most part, he's just like this big, brutish gestalt. But it took a long time for him to recover to get to this point. So he's a later 30s type construction worker character. Otherwise, he's just minds his own business and tries to be a nice guy and help out stuff. But every once in a while, somebody comes a knocking, and he has to go knock back a little harder.
Nice. Okay, cool. I went ahead and took out the drop down. So if you want to change that body modification to refine it to what Alex is able to do, that's totally cool with me. Sounds good. That's definitely a brick. Fantastic. Mel, why don't you introduce us to your character?
All right. Paige is a young woman who works as a personal assistant. So she's part of a concierge services organization in the neighborhood that provides all sorts of things for those with money and or events. She has always had an aptitude for tools and techs, and as a kid was always messing around and dismantling things, much to her parents' chagrin. In college, an experiment in a robotics lab involving a cell phone, some VR goggles, some spilled chemicals in a kegerator, and a Raspberry Pi sort of yielded a technological breakthrough, but some unexpected results. And so my senses are keen and my gadgets are geekier.
That is totally like, I love that.
I like the Raspberry Pi.
A kegerator. That's awesome. Cool. That is really cool. So we'll probably need to think about, because when we go and draw your neighborhood, the concierge service, maybe a name for that particular company. And I see you haven't yet picked a role for her.
Where's the team role? Let's see. Hold on. I will do that.
I'll drop in chat the kind of suggested ones, but it's really flexible. So
maybe it's the glue.
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah.
That makes sense. Somebody who's really good at creating just the right gadget at the right time support. That's totally a glue function to me. Great. All right. Thank you, Mel. And so, Mark, to introduce us to your character.
All right. I'll be playing Earthbound, Freddie Huberty. He's a 22-year-old pizza delivery guy, and he works for Dami's Pizza. And Dami knows, they know pizza. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Through his job, he's run into some of these people, like Paige. He's delivered pizza to Paige several times during functions and stuff. Yep. And he went to college, right out of high school. Got really interested in geology, ground and stone and stuff, and tectonics. And basically his professor took him what he thought was going to be a field trip. And it turned out to be a secret lab where he basically experimented on Freddie. And basically he didn't realize it at the time, but he gained these powers of control over earth and stone. And so basically he can, wrap people up in sod if he wants. Or he can, as a defense, he can basically kind of turn his skin into like a shale. It's not as hard as granite and stuff, but it's better than nothing. So, yeah. And he's just been trying to help out where he can. He's got himself an outfit, mostly white with yellow and black trim.
But always just a little dirty. Yeah.
Nice. The white, he just wasn't thinking. But so that's Freddie Huberty, Earthbound.
And I see you took defense. So as defense, you imagine he, like, when you mentioned the idea of like the shale, so he kind of armors up with dirt. Awesome. That is cool. Yep. I've never seen more than one person with a defense power on a team, and it's amazing. I love this. This is really cool. Fantastic.
Yeah, Keith is usually the one that usually runs our matches, and he likes to throw heavy stuff at us, and we've learned early on always take a defense power.
Cool. And last but not least, we have Steve playing the Ultimate Chris. Please tell us about your character, which we can see a picture of right now, because it's the best.
Let me make sure I'm turned on here. Yes, I am. So Chance is actually he's the ultimate Chris in that he's so damn lucky. Everything has gone his way. He's good looking, yet smart, yet reasonably fit, yet not poor, but not really rich, because that would mean he would be obnoxious, and that would be unlucky. So Chris is a luck dragon. Chance is actually his name. Chance is the one that he goes by when he's pretending not to be just Chris. He goes out and he doesn't really wear a costume so much as, you know, a sort of a nice suit, but nobody really recognizes him.
He's just lucky that way. Nobody quite
Yeah,
recognizes.
the cameras don't really get a good shot. So he was trained in a non-specific but specific Asian martial art, because if you're too specific about them, then you end up inventing baloney. So I'd rather not. His parents, when he asked them why, when he later figured out that not everybody else taught their kids this, he asked them, "Why did you teach me this?" "Oh, well, we were raised in a monastery." They weren't raised in a monastery. They lied. They moved to Florida before when he went to college. So he's basically they're not available for him to yell at. But basically, when they went to Florida, he got money to go to college. As he was finishing college, he realized that he was controlling luck. But that's fine. He still went ahead and finished his CPA and opened an office in an older building in the neighborhood with an apartment over the business office, so he didn't have to travel very far. Fortunately, that was available. And, you know, his customers began trickling in. So he has a reasonable income, nothing too big, nothing too small.
So I think we need to understand that obviously this neighborhood doesn't have a casino.
I don't think he wants to go to casinos.
Well, why? Why does he go to casinos?
Well, see, the thing is, if you go to a casino, somebody notices. And that changes the probability.
Ah, well, this is neat. Oh, and for Chance, I noticed that you haven't chosen a team role yet. Did you have any?
I'm not sure what they are.
Okay, cool. So I will drop it into chat. It may post 3 times because StreamYard's being weird, but let me try not to post it 3 times. Here are the suggested ones, and then I've had people come up with others. It's just the niche, like the thing that on the team that your character does. There are. Oh, it's going to post 3 times now because it does the. No, it didn't. Okay, maybe not.
Nice.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, no, that twice.
You said something and it came back.
I know. That's it. Technology, stop listening to me. Oh, wait. I've got my mic on. Cool. So you guys already have a strategist, glue, controller, brick. You could be the wild one since you are.
Yeah, what's the wild one generally provide?
Oh, wild one is the person who's a little more carefree. They could be the daredevil, although as a CPA, I don't necessarily think that's where you're headed.
That's just the day job.
Yeah, exactly. That's the day. Okay, you could be the loose cannon. I mean, being super lucky, you could be just that person that occasionally shows up out of nowhere at the perfect moment, and that could be the wild.
I think wild card is a good name.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Stick it in there. That is your niche. That's your role on the team. Great. All right. So I'm going to jump over to NPCs and places, and then I'm going to jump over to Team Gen because I meant to go there, not NPCs and places. Cool. So if you take a look at the NPCs and places, and I'll go ahead and share the screen so everybody can just kind of look there. Why is your group together? These are suggestions. The default is secret heroes. You all live locally in this neighborhood, have secret IDs, and protect your homes. other options for the purpose of your team. Could be heroes for hire, local businesses maybe pay you or reward you in some way to be here and keep the neighborhood safe. Kind of like cops. You're not officially on the police squad, but maybe there's a lieutenant who throws certain weird problems your way. Dresden is kind of like maybe a kind of like cop in a way in certain novels. Tryhards or former sidekicks, which are young do-gooders who are hoping to maybe make it to an actual superhero team. Atoners, ex-villains, trying to improve the lives of the folks you once hurt, or retirees. You guys are your characters are way too young for that, but if you ever want to play a bunch of older, retired superheroes who have to defend their block with their minimal remaining faculties, that's also a pretty fun way to play the game. Any of those you guys want to go with the secret heroes, or do any of those appeal other than that?
Well, I like the secret heroes, but I can go with what everybody else wants to do.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
It'll be easy enough.
All right. With the majority there on that, then we just have a few get-together questions. Who brought most of you guys together? Of course, the strategist or the glue are usually the person that kind of...
Duluth, I think. He's a pattern maker.
There you go.
Yeah, I saw some sort of problem that I needed help with.
You
And
needed
I had-
pizza.
What?
You needed pizza, right?
Yeah, but I could tell. I could tell when you delivered the pizza, just that there was something different about you. And I came across each and every one of you and was able to recognize that there was something special about each one of you. And so I spent time studying each of you till I pretty much figured out what it was.
I'm really good at sheetrock. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
I
so,
like it.
And yeah, so then I needed help with some kind of gang problem that I knew was bigger than me.
Oh, a gang problem. Oh, cool. I saw a problem. Help.
And some of you may have even been pissed off at me that I was able to figure it out.
Nice. You ruined my secret identity. I love it. Who calls the shots? So it's Sleuth to help get everybody together, but who's the person who normally calls the shots, makes the tough call, or says, this is the way that we're going to do it? And maybe you do or don't, but that's the person that thinks that they're in charge.
Is there only one person for that? Or does it happen depending on what the situation is?
It could happen depending on the situation, if that's the way you guys feel like your team would function.
I would think that normally for strategy, Sleuth would call the shots. For strategic or tactical, but also that we'd all be kind of...
I think we tend to let our individual areas shine when it is at the forefront.
Yeah.
As a player group, we have a tendency to play to people's strengths as best as possible.
So Sleuth might be the de facto face, but the person best suited steps up.
Like if we need to sneak into a building, well, I know buildings. I know how they work. So it shouldn't be a problem.
All right. Who causes the most trouble?
Oh, me.
I'm going to go with Chance. Whether he doesn't intend to.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a little bit of a balance factor. And sometimes if things have been going too well, something has to balance. And I'm aware that it's doing it, but I don't stop it. I might say, watch out, but that's all.
Who can everyone rely on when the chips are down?
I'm thinking that sounds like
I will definitely do that.
So Blackstone, Alex
Blackstone will hold the line. That's not a problem.
That works.
All right. So with this built-in assumption that occasionally you'll go out on patrolling, we do have these gang problems that Sleuth originally brought you guys together for. Where do you guys meet up at night?
The parlor that's next door to my CPA place, the Dommies.
Oh yeah, the local pizza joint.
Yeah, it's in the building next door to my office.
I kind of imagine there's like a strip mall which has paralegal services.
I was thinking more of
CPA.
downtown old Berkeley,
Yeah.
where they
That's
have,
but-
awesome.
but my
Dommy's even
paralegal
delivers
office is
beer,
strip
so
they have the pizza store downstairs, and then upstairs there's apartments.
Oh, this sounds really cool. It's almost yeah. I dig that.
And it's also a thing in New York, and they're trying to build new versions of it really forcibly in Oregon.
Yeah, and the concierge services is probably nearby.
Cool. Well, we have some map stuff we'll be doing in just a minute, so let's keep all that in mind. That is really cool. How do you guys get your missions? Is that a thing where Sleuth just notices the patterns, or are there people in the neighborhood that know that you guys are the secret heroes that will help out when things get bad?
Well, from mine, I just luck into them.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I think it's a combination. I mean, Sleuth is often a source. Sometimes I have a secret pipeline through work that not everybody knows about, but
Some people know that what I
some
do.
people know that there's a VIP service.
Mm.
I just got the word play with Paige. I cannot believe it took me until now, but that is clever.
Hey, I have to take a moment away. I'll be back.
it's usually pretty quick.
Cool. No problem. Awesome. Good deal. So then we're going to jump to our rival team, and then we're going to play with the map. These questions here are just some things from our map, but we'll work on that in just a minute. What's the name of your rival team? You can roll 2d6 if you want, or just pick from some of the names or come up with your own. I'm okay with it. But you can see here there are a few ideas.
Are the rival teams? I know I looked at this once before. Are the rival teams bad guys, or are there another?
That's up to you. They're rivals, so they could be heroes who do it a different way that you don't necessarily agree with. They could be heroes for hire that are working for a corporation that just occasionally come in conflict with, or they could be bad guys.
So they could be like, what was it here? Like a gangster organization.
Sure.
I like the idea of a gangster organization.
Okay.
Also, but I want more. I have a vague idea for more.
What kind of thing? Do you want to do like a triad type thing, or do you want to do
I'm thinking. I don't know.
classic Sicilians?
No, not classic Sicilians. More white nationalists.
Oh, really? We're gonna go there.
Well, you know,
Alright.
I mean,
Sure, why not? I mean,
so it's like the neighborhood is changing, and they don't like it. So anybody who is not white, they do not, they don't like.
So we're talking like kind of like a biker clan type thing with lots of like
biker,
ruffians
KKK kinda
and
thing.
thugs
Yeah,
and
bike. That's kind of
Maybe the Storm Pack. Is that what we want to name them?
yeah. That sounds
sure,
good.
why
Storm
not?
Pack.
All right. So these are white supremacist bikers.
I like the way you said that. White supremacist bikers.
I was thinking. Well, the thing is that implies a couple of things. It allows them to have type of a base of operations because there's usually like some form of like seedy bar in town
course.
that has like a bunch of like bikes out front, so you kind of know what they are. They have a kind of a signature look, so that kind of gives them a, like, oh, if there's a bunch of bikers running through town, you definitely know that they're not anything else but that, that type of stuff.
I like it. The Storm Pack sounds terrible, but memorable. Who has a relationship of some kind with one of the rivals? This could be a family relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be a business relationship. But one of you.
They could be leaning on one of the buildings I'm working on
yeah.
for protection money for the building.
I am back.
We've invented a white supremacist biker gang that's leaning on companies in the neighborhood.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice. What does the Storm Pack have that you guys don't?
They actually have politicians in the city in their pocket. So, yeah, they always seem to. No matter we might stop them, but they always seem to get out of it because someone in the city owes them a favor or something.
And what weakness of the Storm Pack do you guys take advantage of?
They're a little identifiable.
Yeah, they're loud.
They're loud.
They can't hide.
And
Yeah, I hear
And
their
they have
bikes coming from a mile away.
And they have a unique tattoo.
Yeah, that works.
Cool. Man, I hate them already. This is amazing. Good job.
Yeah.
All right.
No ambiguity in our bad guys here.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen other rival teachers are like, well, we kind of just disagree with them. No, these guys are terrible. They're pretty much terrible.
There's no issues in beating these people's heads in. No problem at all.
All right. Here comes a double post of this link. But now we're going to do some cool map. I didn't understand what's going on with. All right. So now we are going to create our neighborhood. And we'll take a break and jump straight into play. So for the neighborhood creation, what we're going to do is already I've drawn just kind of get stuff started, a few streets. The way that in Google Drawings that you draw streets is you could just create a line or I'll just do a line. If you want to do something kind of weird, you can do scribble, which means you can like freehand draw like that. And if you want to delete it, you just click, you can delete. So we'll start with Sleuth. I want you to draw a street that intersects Main Street, or you can pick up any of these streets that are already out there, and then place where it is that you live.
Alrighty then. Where I live, okay? Let's see.
Yeah, you can just grab any of these shapes and move it over to some spot where you live. On one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
I live in. Whoa! Did I? Okay, yeah, that's working. I live right here.
Okay.
Apartment building,
Okay.
and I'm supposed to give it a name now. Let's see here. Or no, those are street names. The name of the building is. Well, I just changed mine. I want a different building.
Okay.
I want this one here. Can I rotate it? Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Very good. And the name of it is Cambridge Court.
All right. Cambridge Court. It's Cambridge Court.
It was once a fancy place, but it's now old and run down, and the
Nice.
plumbing often doesn't work. You turn on the light switch, and there's a 75% chance the light will turn on.
Oh my, that sounds terrible. I love it. Good job. Cool.
It's cheap.
Well, that's true. In many ways, it is definitely cheap. Alex Blackstone. Create a street or just drop a house or apartment or where it is. Where is it that you live in the neighborhood?
I'm trying to do that from my phone. We'll see here.
Oh, if you need some help, I'm happy to.
Yeah. All right. I'm actually in the tool. Can you take that little tiny building, the blue one on the top, and put it in somewhere in the north of the intersection of Main Street and the vertical street?
This one?
To the right. Yeah, that one. That's the object, and I'll move it to the other side of that. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay. What is this place?
It's my house. I actually have a house that I've built with my own 2 hands. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
nice construction guy. Totally makes sense. I like it. So we'll just say that is Blackstone's house. Is it like a 2-story, 1-story?
It's a tiny little 1-story. It has like a built-in garage. Yeah, that's what it needs to.
Paige, you're up. Where do you live?
Oh, let's see. So this is Main Street. What is this big black line?
Whatever you want it to be.
Okay. Cambridge. I think okay. How does one put a name on the street?
Cool. What I usually do is I'll just go up here, click on the text box thing, and then click in there. And then I've got some suggested names. You could just, copy that, put it into the thing like that, and then you can rotate it and move it around.
How about it's Oxenford Cove West?
I love it. Wait, and is that the purpose? Is the street that's run up and down, or is it?
It is the vertical street.
You know what would make that
because
even
the horizontal street on Cambridge Court has to be some kind of Cambridge Circle, Cambridge something.
Right.
East Cambridge, West Cambridge, probably.
And you know what I really hope?
Mm.
There is absolutely no cove anywhere along that road.
Yeah, no, the Oxenford Cove West is the one that's going up and down.
Oh, up and down. Sorry, I
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Because Cambridge would be the one going horizontal.
Oh, that totally makes sense.
I used to live on a street in Everett called Casino Road.
Yes.
To my knowledge, there's never been a
Cambridge Boulevard,
casino.
perfect. And
I was going to say Cambridge Way, but Boulevard is good.
or Way or
Way.
East. It's probably East Cambridge, and then West Cambridge is on the other side of the divider.
Of course, it's East Cambridge Way there and West Cambridge Way, or West Oxenford Cove, because it's west of whatever the divider is. But
Exactly.
There we go. I
Yeah.
love when they do that. That's never at all confusing or annoying.
No, it
it's
never
also
happens that way.
completely normal and true.
And then I probably live on Oxenford and some kind of
Total city planning. Yeah, this
complex.
is exactly how this works every time.
I go for verisimilitude with city planning. That's
So maybe I'm there.
one of my core competencies of Hit the Streets. Awesome. Oh, cool. And that's a apartment complex or
Some kind of condo, yeah. It's one of those mixed use, the bottom is like retail businesses, and then the upper floors are a mix of business suites and personal housing. In my hometown, there's a place called the Monticello Hotel that's kind of similar. They've converted an old hotel into that. So
awesome. I like the idea of a mixed use. It gives it a nice feel. Paige lives at a cool place. It's a way better than Cambridge Court. Way better. Sorry.
Yes.
Sweet. So now I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are to Earthbound.
Okay. Let me get on there.
Can I make a
Okay.
suggestion, Mark?
Sure.
It might be good to use this area here.
Main Street.
Oh, that did exactly what I didn't want it to do.
It's Google Drawing. It's difficult to
I
do.
think you can
I need to click
undo
it.
what you just
Now
did.
let's undo that.
And
Control
you could
D.
probably rename Main Street if one so
Yeah,
desires.
absolutely. If you want to, go for it. That's just to get it started.
Well, it could be Main Street in town, but like further down, it could be something else.
So I wanted to select this line thing here. Come on, go on the line. Okay, I'll use the mouse to select the line and
Yeah, make sure you're not clicking on the screen that I'm displaying. I've done that before.
Right.
Polyline. There we go.
It's working. Oh, it's
So I'll stop that escape. Basically, in here. No, stop that. Why is it doing this? I want to draw a triangular shaped building that fills about a third of this section between the acute angle on Cambridge Way and Main Street,
Okay.
Look at it.
and
So
that
like
would be the place more filling the angle.
Oh, you want to get one of those like crazy building triangles?
Well,
Which is-
like Flatiron building, because there's a Flatiron corner there.
yeah, I love it.
And then it would extend about almost halfway up there,
Mm-hmm.
and then be the building that would contain the pizza place and the
hmm
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and the other stuff, the CPA and a couple of other small buildings.
Doing the
Yeah.
best I can here. Hopefully does that fit the bill?
Pretty much, and then of course there's a street behind it that goes in, but
Yeah.
it's an alley.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on Main Street proper, so that
hmm
it's got a Main Street address.
All right, cool. So this is a kind of a not a strip mall, but like a large business building.
It's an
You
old style business building with apartments and offices
hmm
and a pizza parlor.
Yeah.
And that's where Earthbound lives.
No.
I was going to say that's where he works.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
where
okay.
I work.
Oh, okay, yeah, the pizza parlor. Okay, cool. So where do you live?
So, let me go make another street. Let me see. So line. Whoa. No, that's not what I wanted to do.
I get the feeling it's only going to let you drag stuff.
Yeah.
What can I do to help?
I'm trying to draw a line. Kind of like that, but
Mhm.
like that. There you go. And the name of that street is Pearl Road.
Pearl?
Yep.
And I assume it goes all the way down.
No.
Just a little short road.
Yeah.
It's a dead end.
Maybe it ends at a park.
Ooh, a park. I love it. Someone speaking about park. That's great.
Park on the south end of Pearl Road. So my building would be. How do you turn buildings?
If you see this little, like where I have this, you can just take
Gotcha.
this little, and then you can rotate it around like that. But grabbing with the mouse and moving it around, so we'll just call this a park.
Okay. So it is there, and let's see. This curvy road can be Evergreen Parkway.
Oh yeah.
Kind of goes through a wooded section.
Cool. So you're calling this this is Pearl Road over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you name this road Evergreen Parkway.
Yep. The curvy little road.
You're lucky I was going to name it Oyster Cove.
No oysters and no cove anywhere on there either. I started to say I used to live in a street in Everett called Casino Road, absolutely no casino anywhere.
Was there ever one?
I don't think so. I've asked people, and they say no. No one can tell me why why Casino Road is named Casino Road.
And my building's name is the Pearl Road Apartments.
Pearl Road Apartments. Wow, I love how prosaically named. Cool. And then last but not least, Chance, we get to know where you live.
Yes. So I've already. I live in the an apartment in the Wedge building. I have my office in the bottom.
Perfect. All right. We'll just. So he has an apartment in the basement area, like the bottom, you say?
Or upstairs.
Okay.
Works downstairs, lives upstairs.
Oh. Sorry. That makes way more sense. For some reason I kept hearing you say it differently. Cool. All right. So then just a few last little bits here. Things to think about for our lovely neighbor. Do we have an idea of what this neighborhood's called?
Pleasantville.
Yeah.
Is there a
How about
library or
Cambridge Ford?
Is there a library? There is. Where's the library at?
I feel like it's going to be opposite of the park over here.
Like down here? Up here? Where do you think?
I'm going to move it maybe over in here-ish.
Okay, go for it. Oh, okay, cool. And it's a public library, I assume?
It is.
Awesome.
It's probably funded by the Cambridge family. Or Carnegie. You know, they're like the Carnegies, but not.
They made all their money off OxyContin?
Of course.
I love it. Cool. Any other? Yeah.
I want to add one more, and if you could help me out, the big green box
Mm-hmm.
on the bottom. Mel, where you live?
Down here, yeah. In the purple.
Yeah, on the other side of the street. Yeah,
Yep.
put it right there.
Like over here.
Yeah, that's the construction site I'm working at.
Over here.
Nice.
So actually over here.
Or is it above? Like right here?
No, you had it before. You're
I
good.
had it before. Okay.
I figure it's a big, tall building that lots of stuff working on.
It's part of the modernization.
Oh yeah.
Let's make it look dirty.
That works.
There you go.
Rust never
All
seen.
right. It's this construction site, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. That was very thoughtful to have your workplace. Thank you for that.
Can we put the police department right below Mel's?
Well, it totally makes sense that she would live in a very
Secure.
secure. Paige is smart. Looks like somebody was trying to move over the gray. Just drop it over there.
Touching it. There.
Let's make it nice and obviously blue for police. Cool. Man, Paige, you got it made.
You need one other thing here, I'm pretty sure. Where's the hospital?
Oh yeah, you definitely need a hospital because we
Mhm.
got to send you there.
It's probably off of Main Street. There.
That's like over here.
In that empty section between my building and hers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but nowhere
pros.
up there.
Yeah, like over here.
This may be the first neighborhood that actually looks like a legit neighborhood. It's great.
Actually, that hospital should have two buildings because it's
Yeah. A wing.
but that's copy and pasted, I guess.
That'll work.
You're putting the hospital right here. What do we want to call it? Like Cambridge General, Evergreen Medical Center,
Cove Harbor or something.
Cove Harbor.
Please tell me there's no cove. Because
No, the road will eventually take you to the water. It's just,
Not a
miles
cove.
away.
It's like West Covina or something.
That's where I go fishing. Now, come on now.
Yeah.
Just 4 miles from the, it's just it's 2 hours from the beach.
So I'm thinking the name of our neighborhood has to be Cove Harbor.
It is now. Yeah,
It
I
is
think-
now, yes.
If it wasn't, it would have to be Cambridge Cove, and that would be even weirder.
Yeah, no.
All right, let's change this font so it's nice and noticeable. Cove Harbor. All right. Let's see here. Any other things we should definitely make sure is in our neighborhood? We've got a library. Oh, you guys.
Well, I'm going to tell you the name of where I work
yes.
is CCC, Cove Concierge Coalition.
Oh, the old 3C. Everybody loves 3C.
Tracy.
Yeah,
Tracy. Where do you think that is?
that's in the Wedge Building, I think.
In the wedge? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
You could put it in another wedge on somewhere in the wedge section.
Well, I think they're interconnected. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, they probably have a tunnel underneath them.
The Sky Bridge.
More like. Let's see if I can blow this up a bit.
Oh, go for it.
There we go.
Nice.
Wow.
I think that's what we were. That's what you were kind of envisioning, right?
Yeah.
Try to get it.
Try and
more
make it
centered.
angle a little
Where it
bit.
takes up almost the whole block. Oh, that's really
Yeah,
great.
it's
I love
it's
it.
a whole bit because this is gonna have like a courtyard and
Ooh.
Well, that blank space would be parking, wouldn't it?
yeah.
It could be.
City
A,
Park.
there could be a parking building there.
So I'm thinking that everything south of Main Street is in the act of or is in the process of being gentrified, which is the reason why there's a construction site there.
Mhm.
The whole Cove Harbor had at one point, was at one point a fancy hoity-toity area neighborhood,
Oops.
fell on hard times, and it's now in the process of revitalization. But
Yeah.
all of the revitalization is happening south of Main Street.
Exactly.
It's pushing north, but it's taking its time.
Right, which is why I still live in Cambridge Square. There needs to be a paralegal somewhere. I want to put in another road.
Okay, go for it.
Well, isn't the paralegal in the wedges? In the wedge?
Not if it's under in the middle of gentrification.
Mm.
Be-
Courthouse near the public library.
Yeah.
Yeah, the why my house is so far north because the land was cheap, so I could build it myself.
hmm
Nice. Totally buy it.
There we go.
Oops.
Oh, hey, I'm surprised I actually got that right.
Whole reason I
Yeah.
wanted to be a construction worker is I'm one of the few superheroes that fixes the holes that I put in the walls.
Just because. And we need another building.
So I have to share this brief story. There's a piece of art in the Hit the Streets book where the artist who's played the game a number of times with me now, he said, Rich, I think one of the pictures I'm going to draw is someone fixing a door. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he's fixing one of the doors that somebody burst down to beat up a bad guy. So there's actually like a little piece of art of a guy using powers to fix a door. So it's like right in line with your construction worker thing.
I like it.
Sweet.
Very good. Hold on.
Does that work? I was thinking courthouse and city hall. Could be
Yeah.
work, library.
Cove Harbor Courthouse. Cove
That
Harbor.
actually looks like the downtown Beaverton nowadays. where they-
Yeah, a little bit.
So Keith, you stuck in a new road. What are you putting? At that
I
road?
needed a spot to put in where my
Oh,
paralegal
paralegal.
is.
I figured it would be near the courthouse, but not too far, but not too close.
Just far enough.
All right, I need to grab that. Oh crap! That's not what I wanted to do.
It wants to shrink.
There we go. That's where I want to put it. I'll put it right there. And that is again a multi-use building with other, things and like a little strip mall and Cove Harbor Paralegal is in that building.
And there's a subway on the bottom floor too.
And
Are we big enough for a subway?
Any place is big enough
Yes.
for a subway.
Even
Yeah.
Longview has.
We're like a
Are you big enough for Starbucks though?
once again.
Cove Harbor Coffee.
I refuse any contract for a Starbucks.
How does this thing work?
oh yeah, okay, and I remember. And Casino Avenue is the name of the street I just put in.
Good.
And again, there's absolutely no casino anywhere. I mean, no, wait a minute. Somebody talked about there's a casino somewhere, didn't they?
No, I made a joke that there's no casino, obviously, because Chance
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
would be independently wealthy. But he's very wisely said that these may not go as well as I think for a luck person at a casino. You may get,
You get noticed.
you get noticed.
If you are lucky, you get noticed.
Casino Way, is that what you call it? Casino Avenue.
Let's call it Casino. Let's call it Casino Avenue.
And I'll just
And
put
maybe
in-
there is a casino, maybe there's not. I don't know. We'll decide that later.
You could call it way because it's the same type of nomenclature. Because ways always go one way, and avenues go one way, and boulevards all go one way, and so
Is that true?
yeah,
I didn't
left
know
and right. Yeah, that's how it works. Places are always in one direction. Streets are always in another one. Yeah,
Not in Everett.
Everett's dumb.
Everett is dumb.
That's awesome. I learned a little something. Okay.
Back when I
Ooh,
used
we
to
have
work
a
delivery.
new condo building there or something going up. This is great. It's like
Mel's-
Sim City.
Mel's just drawing and building stuff, and yeah,
I'm just making it more.
I ran this game for a group. One of the players, her name's Tara, and in the intervening weeks between games, she went back into the drawing, and because she had created a little park that her character lived near, she went and created the individual shrubbery.
jeez.
It was
That's all-
insane. Like, wow, this is the best neighborhood. It's just fun.
World building is a thing we apparently like to do here as well. It's like
This is
McDonald's.
we got a McDonald's, thank God. Woof. Is that this right here? We
Yeah.
need to make it like ugly yellow.
Yeah.
Then.
Mhm.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
Green.
yellow. That's the color.
Oh, we need one more thing.
What's that?
The southwestern triangle.
Mhm.
We need to put the biker bar in.
Oh, great. Yeah. I think I want to name the biker bar the Silver Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds menacing. The Silver Star. All right. Who wants to drop that in?
I would, but I'm not in the right tool.
Oh, no worries. I can grab it. It's going to be like a little dive of a bar. Is it down here in the south, not far from you guys?
That
Or-
empty triangle, yeah, somewhere down there.
Yeah, just stick it. It's not on Main. It's not far from Cambridge Court because Cambridge Court's so crappy.
Well, I figured since they would feel the push of the gentrification and they're all hating it and seeing all the, all these other people, they would be more affected if they were closer to the edge of the new stuff.
Silver Star Bar. No grill, just bar.
Yeah, who you want to grill?
Saloon.
Oh yeah, some alliteration there. That's fun.
The SSS.
Oh wow! Didn't even realize we did that, but it's perfect. Wow. This is
There
Cove
we go.
Harbor's pretty great, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live here, but I definitely like stories about it.
Well, as long as you're south of Main Street, it's pretty good.
It's good, guys. It's good.
Except for some small blights, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also over here is the office.
So we spend our entire session making Cove Harbor because we're weird.
Not that weird. I think I would like to. What is the office for? Whose office? What?
Bar. It's a classic bar.
Okay. Cool.
It's one of those places where they say, "Oh, I'm going to the office." How do you move the text now once you've got it?
Like that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna change that color to something different here.
Yeah, slightly different. Yeah.
You know
The
what?
office is the one that isn't the dive bar, but it might as well be.
Hey Mel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is cool. All right. Here's what I'd like to do. We're at 10 till. So I'd like to take a bio break with everybody. So let's go ahead and make it a 10-minute break. And then when we get back, we're going to go pell-mell, straight up, last hour, nothing but vigilantism and fun stuff. We'll get into
Awesome.
Cool.
game.
Okay.
See you guys in a few minutes.
Alrighty.
Oh, we got a nice map.
Hey Mel, you there?
We're both muted.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What's
I
that?
was wondering if you got that map that I made for you.
A map that you made for me.
Yes, it's in the Wardenverse DM.
One moment.
It's in the video chat.
Looking. Okay, let me get into it. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Feel free to, turn that into real art. Or,
Awesome. I suck at actual art,
Oh, okay.
pixel or otherwise.
I'm more of that one.
But thank you.
So that's what you kind of mapped out. And
Awesome.
some of the comments that I put on there.
Beer. Beer good. Beer foamy.
Did you get foamed?
No, not too bad. Got some 1554 sitting in the fridge. I'm like, I should have that.
I found a more explicit address to one of the photoshops of the perfect.
At first, I thought I was going to be a car mechanic, but then I realized, it'd be much more fun to be a construction worker.
The hair is not quite right on that, though.
I'm not going to bother with a picture. So now I have to invent a family.
We do.
I'm thinking about it. It's either going to be a girlfriend and a dog, or it's going to be like a wife and like 6 kids, and I haven't decided yet.
Do you know about the 6 kids?
Well, it's only the one mom, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of superhero.
Not like Batman, who didn't find out until his kid was 13.
Yeah. Yeah, ghouls have never been very good about that.
Alrighty.
They're not usually, ghouls and morning after pills apparently just don't work.
I don't think there's an intention for a morning after pill. If he went by his actual age, canonically, she would have to have harvested his seed at the age of 14, which is kind of creepy.
That is kind of creepy.
She'd have to have known that he was going to be the Batman, in other words. It's whenever you get a new writer doing something clever.
They don't do the math and they realize, oh,
Oopsie.
I got in a 2-hour argument today about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
So what was the argument about?
The person I was talking to seemed to think that the new trilogy we have 2 of so far is passable, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's passable. It's not great.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
Horrible.
It is canon breaking in every extreme possible.
It's worse than the prequels.
It actually is kind of almost the same thing as the people.
It's bad that I missed. I actually almost want to have them bring Jar Jar into the 3rd movie to help try to redeem it, and I hated Jar Jar.
Oh, come on. What's to hate about Darth Binks?
I loved the theory about Jar Jar being a Sith.
Mm-hmm. It explains so much.
We had Chinese food tonight and got it delivered before the call started. And they brought us cream puffs, and somehow I managed to take this cream puff and fill my mustache with it.
Good one.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, those are tabs. That's what it is.
I'll pick a different color. All right, everyone, pick your color of dice. If you're already here.
Already have.
I'm going to go orange.
I don't know what color are my dice. Let me roll some dice, see what color they come up as. Submit. I guess I'm sky blue.
I'm khaki.
Khaki. Yeah, what you do is there's a drop down on the right hand side that has a color indicator. And just pick a color. Let's see what this looks like.
What if I do this?
You don't. That's why I said everyone pick a color.
I have a horrible color.
Yeah, that'll work.
That's my color.
I figure safety orange will work just fine.
Has purple been chosen?
Did you just roll a 5?
Yeah.
And I want to find out something. I'm going to clear the dice again and try something.
All right.
All right, let me see if this. Okay, so what does the label do? I thought I put in a label up there, and it didn't. And
I
it doesn't.
don't know. I tried it and it didn't work.
It was busted.
Oh, I see. It sorts them for us. Okay, yeah. So we need to make sure we clear before each roll.
Yeah.
Or hot yet?
What is DF?
Oh, it's
Fate. Fate die.
allows you to custom. You can either roll percentage dice or something, maybe.
No, it's fate dice.
Oh, fate dice.
Plus, minus, and blank.
As in D fate.
Sure enough, that'd be a 1. Okay.
Okay, so how does it look if I did this just for testing purposes? Oh, okay. So it does it do the shapes?
Oh, you're playing on the map again?
No, I was rolling d20s to see what happens to the map because I'd only seen 6 names.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's if you click on the check for funky dice, you get all kinds of crazy extra dice. D5s, D3s, stuff for DCC Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Which is
Sure.
funky dice. Where's that?
I'll just screen share. It's easier to screen share than to try to talk you through
Oh,
it.
there it is. It's a little
Yeah,
checkbox.
it's a little checkbox. Yep. You see how all the extra options pop out? You can even do cards on here too. Pretty cool. And then for some of the games we play, you can do a clock. So
People taking too long, you can speed them up.
you can have a countdown clock, right? You can
What
you could
you
be-
could do this kind of. This is that type that pie stuff you were doing. What was that game we were playing? When we had these Blades in the Dark.
Blades
Yep.
in the Dark. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what this is for. You can do a 4 section, 6 section, or 8 section countdown clock. So yeah, it's made for.
all three in the dark.
Yeah, totally. Blaze in the Dark. And Apocalypse World has some clocks sometimes too. Yep. This is a pretty cool little die roller. And you guys are welcome to it. All you have to do is you just come here and you click on New Room. And bam, that's yours. And you share that. And anyone who rolls dice in this particular room will be able to see it. You guys are free to take the URL and the Roll for Your Party URL and use it whatever you want. The Gauntlet gaming community uses it constantly, like multiple games a night. Okay. Everybody back?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're all here.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess I probably should say, is anyone not back? And then if you
Steven,
answer
are you
it, then
here?
you're
I don't
not
think
back.
I've heard you, Steven.
I'm here.
Okay.
Welcome.
I had heard Steven.
I thought.
Awesome. Let me move the street man suggestions over here a little bit. Move all this stuff out of the way. Make sure. All right, cool. Cove Harbor. So we have, because all the character creation and world creation, we have about an hour of play. So I'm just gonna start off with a bang. And so let me refamiliarize myself with character. Sleuth. You're in your day-to-day guise as Kevin Kearns in your paralegal paralegal working at the. This is part of a strip mall, right? It's not just
Yes.
like an office park kind of deal.
Yes.
And what is the name of the? Somebody making some tea.
That's Mel. She always makes tea.
Awesome. So you are there working paralegal job. There's a small family that's come here for the services, and you're walking them through particular options that they have for, let's say, filing for some kind of. They want to be able to sell stuff online and through some kind of Etsy type store. When you hear the unmistakable sound of a particular biker group as they pull up. It is none other than the Storm Pack. They have come by. You have heard, and being a sleuth, you know that the nearby, let's say that it's a knitting place. They have refused, because they're mostly out of money, they've refused to pay the protection money to the Storm Pack. And unfortunately, in broad daylight, that is when the Storm Pack makes their move as they drive by in the parking lot long enough for everyone to be aware that they're there. And they throw a couple of Molotov cocktails through the front window of the Stitch and Bitch. Which is right next door to your paralegal store. What do you do?
Alrighty. First thing I do is I want to make sure that my customer and everybody in my store is safe. I start ushering people out the back door.
Okay, cool.
Because there's a fire in the building. But
Absolutely.
at the same time I'm doing that, I'm getting out my cell phone, and I've got everybody else on the group in a text,
Group text?
In a thing, and I just basically one-handed, because I just know where these things are. I surreptitiously send an alert to everybody saying that what's the name of the group again? The biker gang,
Storm Pack.
Storm Pack. My complex. Now, and I send it while I'm ushering everybody in my building out the back door so that they're all safe.
Sweet. So we're going to actually put that to a die roll about you saving people, because that's definitely a thing that's important in this game. But we're going to cut away from you as what is it that our fine pizza delivery driver, Earthbound, what is it that you drive when you're delivering pizza for Dommies?
Toyota Corolla.
Awesome. So you're in a Toyota Corolla heading down Casino Way. And you're past a sign that says Casino 326 miles. And you're about to deliver a pizza to the McDonald's. Around back, it says in delivery instructions, when you get the text from Sleuth and you see the small fire that is building at the strip mall, what do? You see the Storm Pack there in your Toyota Corolla. They're driving around. There are a dozen of them on their bikes.
Okay, I text my boss real quick. Car problems. And I pull into the building next to, across from McDonald's. And I carry a suit in my trunk. So the pizzas are in the back seat. So
all right,
the suit's in the trunk. So I get out the suit.
Yeah, you're just feet away from that poor McDonald's worker.
Yeah,
that pizza's gonna get cold, but your vigilante days call. So great. So we're gonna quickly jump over to C3 because Paige, you are currently working. What is it that we see you doing? Like, who are you helping at the time that you get a mass text from Sleuth? Are you muted, Mel?
I was muted. Sorry about that. So I am talking to one of the administrators from Cove Harbor Medical Center. They have a package that needs delivering.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, you're just talking over the phone to coordinate.
Organize, where when the helicopter will land on the roof, when they're gonna take their.
Yeah, and the administrator's like, this is going to be the most expensive machine in the entire hospital.
It is.
We're quite excited about this. It's better than an MRI, according to several trades. And so he's working with you on coordinating the helicopter delivery.
There's all sorts of legalese and contracts and
that's when you get the mass text that there's the storm pack is causing trouble. What do you do?
I quickly hand off the call to my automated assistant that I've already programmed to capture the.
That's awesome. Does the assistant like sound like you, or is
Absolutely? It's Peyton, and Peyton knows how to do everything.
Peyton
Prescott is my day job, so Peyton is the name of my virtual assistant, like Peyton Place.
I love it. That is awesome. So then,
I am gonna go out through the stairs rather than the elevator, and I've got a little scooter, like a little Vespa situation.
That's great.
So I'm gonna swap Wayfarers for goggles. I've still got the white driving gloves. I've got the black and white houndstooth jacket, lots of pockets.
Oh my gosh, you are too snazzy for this team. You class up the joint.
We're going.
Nice. So you got me off on your little Vespa, and you pass by the construction. Oh, sorry. You pass by the construction site, so we like zoom in because that's where we would find Blackstone. Blackstone, where in the construction site are you? Are you like up on some I-beams, walking precariously, working on the concrete mixer? What are you doing when you get the text from Sleuth?
I'm probably working somewhere on the 6th, 7th floor, helping them, pull stuff in off from the crane for some of the beams that they're bringing in, and then I get a text and, hey guys, I gotta go. I'll be right back. It's gonna be a little bit. Jump off the building.
Oh God! Do they know? wait. Do they know?
I am completely open. The neighborhood knows that it's like Luke Cage's character. He's just a big tough motherfucker.
That
so
is.
I just go out and change my density, and by the time I hit the ground, it's clang.
It's awesome.
Just keep going.
I think it's a thing where just before you jump off, Jake, one of your coworkers, is like, "Oh man, it's the Vespa girl. Check her out." And then you just like step off. He's like, "Oh, okay then."
Pretty much.
I love that intro. That is so ballsy. It's great. And then we swing down to the CPA. Chance, what is it that you're doing when you get the text?
Well, here's the thing. I happen to have gone over to pick up some fabric at the yarn store.
It just so happens, right? Like, so we like come into your office, we see the little nameplate for sorry, I was Chris Brandon.
Out for 10.
Out for 10. Swing back around. What do you drive, by the way?
Well, I have if I have a car.
Or you have a motorcycle?
Car.
Probably a motorcycle or something like that. But not one like these guys drive it. It's more like one of those electric ones.
Oh, nice. Cool. So yeah, you're pulling up. You are close enough to where if Sleuth needs you, because you just happen to be there at the right place, the right time. Sleuth needs you, you can help him. So we're going to circle back to you, Sleuth, because you're trying to save these folks. We'll say that there are 5, including the family and a couple of your coworkers who are there at this time of the day. 5 people you need to get hustled out of the back without any of them getting confused. So If we go to, and I'll jump over here so we can see the character keeper. You can see down here, these are the difficulties, and a POW is a success. You will need to roll evens. I know it's a D6. Some people are like, why not 5, 4, 5, or 6? I like evens, friends. So you want to roll evens. The total number of successes you need to get all these people out, we're going to say it's a good difficulty.
Okay.
And if you happen to remember the old Marvel superheroes, the old one, you will recognize some of these difficulty levels look a little familiar because
The old chart from way back when.
yes, I stole it. Okay, so you, Sleuth, are you're just trying to convince these people to leave, right? So that's something a normal person would be able to do.
Okay.
How do you feel like your role as a strategist would help you out, or that you're fulfilling that role while trying to save these folks?
Definitely, because I'm watching the pattern of the fire and how the fire is moving across. And a couple of people are even going the wrong way. And I realize that if they go that way, they're going to, even though they can't see the fire, I know from the way the building is burning that that door is blocked. There's a fire actually behind that door. And so I'm using my role as a strategist and telling him, no, there's fires up, fire's back there. You need to go this way, go this way.
All right, cool. So team roll is in play, being normal. So that means it's 1, 2 dice, and you're trying to save people, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes, I
you are
am.
using your heart. So that brings you up to a total of 5 dice.
Okay.
I don't think either of your powers are in effect here.
Okay.
So we will say that you right now have 5 dice. You need 3 successes. Now,
Okay.
we haven't rolled for Spark because I see everybody still has 4. So let's real quick roll you a D6. If you could roll a D6.
All right. I'm going to
and
roll a
that'll-
D6. Oops. Rolling a D6 right now. Submit. There it is. I got a 3.
Okay, cool. So you start with 6 Spark. So Spark are cool because they are your hit point. If you run out of Spark, you lose access to your superpowers until you restore it.
Okay.
However, you can spend Spark in order to boost your roll 1 for 1 to increase the number of dice that you roll. Right now, you're rolling 5 dice. So you need evens,
All righty.
and you need 3 total successes. Do you want to spend any of your Spark?
I will spend 1 spark.
Okay, so that gets you up to 6 total dice. Now, I have mentioned to Steve that Chance just happens to be here and able to help. So if you wanted to, Steve, you could, there are teamwork rules. You could kick a Spark because you actually care about what Sleuth is trying to accomplish here. You could spend one of your Spark, and that would add to Keith's die roll. Let's roll real quick for you, though. It looks like you haven't rolled your starting Spark, Steve. So let's roll that for Chance, okay? Roll a D6.
1d6.
Yes, sir.
Submit. Do it.
5. You are so full of Spark. Now, again, this is not your maximum Spark. This is just your Spark as you start within this issue or session, right? It can go up or down, and we'll talk about how to recover Spark later. We just want to jump into the scene. Do you want to help out by spending a Spark to increase
Yep.
Sleuth's die roll? All right, awesome. So just drop that back down to a 7 for you. You now have 7 dice. Let's go ahead and have you make that die roll.
All righty. 7 dice.
You're looking for evens. You need
Lovely.
3 or more to succeed.
I got 1 even, 2 evens, 3 evens, 4 evens, and 2 of them are 6s, if that means anything.
The 6s don't mean anything, but they are even, so it makes you feel good. That is 5 successes against 3. So the family, they all get nervous, and you tell the one guy who was about to open the wrong door, and he has the other way. Chance, you come in at the last moment and just happen to help out as well. What do you imagine is the thing that you say to save? Do you think maybe like you found their cat? It was hiding? The office cat?
Actually, if I'm actually coming in the door,
Mhm.
let's see. They have the front door is near the window that got crashed in,
Yeah, sure.
and we're going out the back. I'm going to go in the front door. I'm assuming the guy is heading for the front door. I'll go in there and say, "Whoops, it's on fire out there. Let's go the other way."
Nice. Cool. So you help out, and they're able to They're able to sneak their way out the back without any problems. The storm pack does not notice them because you're smart enough to take them out the back way. And all the people from the paralegal office, as well as Stitch and Bitch, have made their way to the back alley behind the paralegal office park. So Storm Pack is evidently sticking around to watch this place burn down Earthbound. You are out front, so you see this. You're on the scene before Paige and Blackstone arrive. What are you doing? You've changed into your cool, slightly dirty costume.
How many guys do I see?
Or like a dozen. The Storm Pack is out in full force. Like, this is everything. They pulled in their prospects, all of their white bread, muscle bound, handlebar mustachioed goons.
Okay. Do we have any communication besides our phones? Text.
I would imagine Paige has created some kind of gadget for you guys to be in communication, like Avengers, like where you just point to your ear and we all know you have some kind of communicator. Is that right, Paige?
Totally true.
Totally true.
They've been slightly modified, so we are on our own WAF band.
I'm going to write down what a WAF band is and look it up later so I sound smarter. Wide area frequency, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Fuck yes! I didn't even Google it, guys. I just said, what could WAF mean? Okay, awesome.
So I'll basically use my communicator and communicate to the group. We've got a dozen of the, storm guys, storm jerks out front.
Jerks.
I'll hold until the rest of you get here.
Great.
Sweet. So I think, I'm curious, Blackstone, once you jump off, do you just run, or did you hop in your car to get? How do you arrive on scene? Because I think you arrive at the same time as Paige.
Can you hear me? No.
Muted.
Working, processing. Please wait.
There. That should be
Yeah,
fine.
there you are.
Okay. Emil, could you mute yours? Thanks. So basically, I was thinking because I'm super heavy, I have to have a vehicle that can handle it. When I'm really heavy.
Mhm.
So I'm in like a Ford F-350.
Nice. So you kind of pass by the Vespa, but she's just pulling into park, and you guys arrive. You see Earthbound's already suited up. I think Earthbound, are you obvious? Like, has the Storm Pack noticed you, or are you trying to stay out of sight because you're waiting?
I'm on the other side of the legal building.
Okay, sweet.
So I'm just kind of like peeking around and stuff. But
okay, so if you're on the
think
other
they're-
side, are you in view of Sleuth and Chance then?
I believe they're in the back. With the people.
Okay, so when you say other side, like the Storm Pack is here. Are you
Okay.
thinking you're like on this side near
Yeah.
the McDonald's? Okay, awesome.
I'm almost right across from McDonald's, and they probably know my car. They probably parked across the street.
Yeah, exactly. No, your
I duck
Corolla.
behind a.
It's got the Domino's like car topper, right? I'm sorry, not Domino's. The Dommies. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. The Dommies parlor.
Giant nose.
Yeah. So I basically ducked behind a dumpster and changed, and now I'm kind of like looking around. And are there bikes parked in front of the building?
They're not parked. They're kind of driving almost like vultures circling a dead body. They're driving in the front parking lot and then kind of dipping into the street. Sleuth, based off of the normal response times of the fire department, which is not pictured on this map, but it's got to be somewhere nearby. They should be here, but they're not. You don't hear the sirens. Like, the fire trucks are not coming.
Okay, then.
Cool. So you see them as we jump back to you, Earthbound.
Okay.
You see Paige as well as Blackstone arriving. And
the other side.
yeah.
I would I imagine these guys aren't wearing helmets and stuff.
Helmets. Who needs helmets? These guys are tough.
So I'm going to surreptitiously use my powers
Ooh.
and basically take all the grit that's on the side of the road and pick it up and throw it at, the bikers as they're driving in, coming into the street.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna ruin the element of surprise, but get a really sneaky hit in on them. I love this.
Mhm.
So, here's the deal: if they discover you,
Okay.
they are going to shoot at you. So this changes the tone of the roll. So now, there is tension in effect.
Right.
So all that means is that if you roll ones, remember on Keith's roll earlier, this one right here, the same roll, this one would have stolen a spark from him. Like either he would have, maybe there was a beam that fell and hit him, or there's smoke inhalation. For some reason, it would have hurt him a little bit psychically, socially, or physically. So now you're about to make a roll as Earthbound using your cool ass powers. But if you roll any ones, it's going to hurt. Now, are you just looking to distract them? Or are you trying to take some of these guys down? Just so I understand the scope of and how
Just to distract them.
Okay, cool. So I'll say that it's a good difficulty to distract these guys. And I'm actually going to use these wonderful clocks. We're going to say that taking down this gang is going to be we'll say it's an 8. So we're going to call the Storm Pack an 8 difficulty. But by pulling off this little distraction here, you'll be able to kind of effectively remove one of their quote-unquote hit points, as it were.
Yeah.
Which will lower the difficulty for other people who try to take them on.
Okay.
So
And just as a safety precaution, I'm looking at the parking lot behind me,
Mhm.
and I imagine there's a lot of potholes,
of
a
course,
lot of large chunks of
I
asphalt.
mean, this is where sleuth works, so it's pretty crappy.
It is. It really is.
Okay. That's just kind of a backup. I'm just kind of preparing for
Sure.
bigger stuff. But like I said, I'm just going to pick up the little pebbles and debris that's on the side of the road.
Oh man,
all that junk,
I can see that in my head. That looks awesome.
And just kind of create a little cloud and just throw it right at them. I mean, at the very least, I'm gonna scrape some paint. But best hope is I get some in their eyes and stuff. So
Awesome. So difficulty is going to be a 3.
okay.
So let's build that. I'll jump over here. So you're definitely being super, without a doubt there.
Yeah.
And you're trying to kind of aim and throw. So I feels like to me, do you think it's something that's a little more along the lines of using your speed or precise aim? Which do you think is a more appropriate stat for what you're trying to do?
Precise aim.
Okay, cool. So super plus aim for your head.
Okay.
So that's 5 dice. You feel like you're being a controller here?
Somewhat. I mean, I'm kicking off this engagement by trying to. I'll probably definitely get their attention.
That's true. Okay.
So-
Hold their attention.
Okay, cool. So then that's 6 dice. And then you're definitely using your earth power. So that puts you up to 8. We have not rolled for your starting spark. So let's do that first. Go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay.
All right. So you've got a starting spark of 5.
Okay.
You want to spend any spark on top of the 8 dice that you've accumulated?
I'll spend 1.
Okay. So just drop that back down to 4 and roll yourself 9 dice. I'll go ahead and delete that one.
All right.
You just type in 9 and hit submit and you'll
9.
good luck. Okay, so I see a 1 here. You're looking for 3 successes, and you most definitely have that. So the Storm Pack, as they're riding around, watching, chuckling, laughing. One of them has like a 6-pack of beer, and he's opened one of them, and he's like the rest are on the ring, and he just kind of drinks it, and then all of a sudden this like dust storm comes up out of nowhere, and they don't wear helmets because they're tough, which means that it gets right over the windshield, clinks one guy in the eye. He's like, "Oh, son of a!" And the guys are laughing, and he's definitely distracted them. And so we click one.
My
Page.
hope is that one of those pebbles broke the cheap aluminum of that beer can and just poked a hole in it.
Oh yeah, like one of those like it's like spraying a bunch of I think it's like the Suds beer that we see from Simpsons kind of deals, Duff, that's it, Duff beer, and it's spewing a bunch of very foamy beer all over his. Oh man, my Harley! But that's just going to annoy them. All right, that's not going to stop them, but you definitely have them distracted. Sleuth, you and Chance have worked together to get everybody out to the back parking lot. They're headed to their cars. They're trying to get the heck out of Dodge. You got a report from Earthbound before he engaged with the Storm Pack. What are you guys doing, Sleuth and Chance?
So I heard what, even though I'm behind the building, I heard what he said. I'm hearing the sounds of the dust flying through the air. I'm hearing the sounds of the environment. I know exactly where everybody's standing. I know that at this moment they're blind. They're sort of blinded, so I try to take advantage of that. I'm not even bothering to put on my costume yet because while I'm being super in a non-obvious way. I am going to. I know exactly how they're driving, and I'm going to I'm going to run out there, stand in a spot, so that at the moment the drivers of one of the motorcycles' vision clears, he sees me. He sees me just standing there, looking wide-eyed, like I'm afraid. I'm not, because I know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to veer to the left. In the act of veering to the left, he's going to run into another one of his friends, taking both of them out.
That is amazing.
And all I'm doing is just standing there looking scared.
That's all you're doing. There's no way he'll know that you are secretly Sleuth with your cool fedora and all that stuff because you're foregoing such things. I'm going to say, because you've got this all figured out, that this is going to be a remarkable feat for you to do it with being completely unscathed without fooling the entirety of the Storm Pack. Because among them, there are a few who are superpowered beings as well. But let's say that this difficulty is remarkable. You'll need 4 successes. And of course, tension's in effect because if you hose it somehow, if you flinch somehow, then it's going to hurt. So let's see. You build that roll. You're definitely, It sounds like you don't appear supernatural, but what you're doing is very super. It's like the level of calculations that.
Yes, it's a kind of calculation because I know exactly how much he's going to steer. I can tell from the sound. I can tell from the sound. I know exactly where he's going. I know exactly where he's going to appear. I know exactly where he's going to appear when his vision clears. All because of my super-powered pattern recognizing ability.
All right. So then it's real easy. Strategist. I don't know why I always want to mispronounce that word. Strategist plus super plus head, because that's all focused on your head. And defense, you don't have to declare. It's always there. So if you roll a 1 because of your defense, you will not take spark damage. So we're 1, 3, and 6 is 10 dice. You've got a difficulty of 4. So do you want to spend any of your 5 spark to try to help you, or you want to go ahead and roll it?
I will 10 dice. I think I'll just go with the 10 dice.
I think that's true. Oh no! Someone cleared my clock. I'll put it back. It's no problem.
Oh, I think that was me. I think that was me. I was trying to clear the dice. I didn't realize the clear button cleared
it's okay.
Everything. Now I know.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here I go.
Sorry. All right.
Well, I got 1-1, but I guess. Holy crap! That's a lot of successes right there. I think I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. So you're going to take out 2 of these guys. and it's one of those where you saw it in your head and everything came out according to plan. This guy sees you, and at first he's like, I'll just run over this guy, but then you look scared. There's some kind of weird connection you have. You calculate perfectly. He moment tries to bail, runs slam into a buddy who's got a pair of ape. He's riding a bike with ape hangers with his like Viking horns on the side, and gets stabbed in it, and they knocks down both of the motorcycles, and it's a mess. And they're pissed. He's pissed off at the guy, like, why didn't you just run him over? It's like, oh, I don't know. He looked like my cousin.
And I know that I did look like his cousin because again, I have met that driver before as Sleuth, and so I know all about his family. I know that I do bear a somewhat of a resemblance to his. I
love it. It's like the thought bubble that we see from Sleuth afterwards, as you're laughing about the damage that you caused. Paige, you see that you recognize Sleuth, right? You know him out of costume, but Kevin's thrown himself into the fray here. And the Storm Pack's going to react to this, but you've got maybe an opportunity. What do you want to do?
All right, so there's a fire.
Muted.
You're muted still.
Fire at the Stitch and Bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So I have Vesper with me, which is my Vespa, and full of kits and gadgets.
Yes.
Including my Major Domo, which is a little device manipulator. And I'm going to hack into the HVAC, water, air, and get the sprinklers going much harder than normal.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Fact, some of it may direct itself to one or more of those Storm Pack jerks. I would like them to feel a storm.
All right, cool. So what you're doing is something that we actually have in the Hit the Streets rules. So you're doing kind of two things at once, which is totally cool. We'll set two difficulties. So if you just want to turn on the sprinklers to minimize the damage to the Stitch and Bitch so that it could possibly be recovered without being called a total loss, that is going to be a good difficulty. If you then want to soup up the sprinklers so that they squirt out and harm some of the Storm Pack that are riding around and yucking it up, then your difficulty will be incredible. So it would be a 5.
Let's make it incredible.
All right. And of course, now that you're involving the Storm Pack, tension is in effect, Paige. This could be very dangerous for you.
It can.
All right. Fantastic. Let's build this roll. So you're definitely being super using your gadgets. So that's tools, and your gadget power kicks in. So that's 6 plus 2 and 8. Do you feel like you're being a glue? I'm not entirely sure if that applies here. I just want to check in.
Not yet. I don't think.
All right, cool. So let's roll a d6 real quick to see what your starting spark is.
Just 1d6.
Yes, ma'am.
A 4.
A 4 means that you have 7 to start. So let's... Now you have, again, 8 dice that you're going in against a difficulty of 5. You need evens, and 1s are going to count against you. Now, just so you're aware, that thing where if you roll a 1, it will cost you a spark. That only goes up to the difficulty of the action you're performing. So the difficulty is 5. You could lose up to 5 spark from this. So this is
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. I love it. How much spark do you want to spend to boost your roll?
3.
Okay, cool. So that means you're going with 11, right? So you had 8, so you're spending 3. Those will go from 7 down to 4. And go ahead and roll 11d6. You are looking for evens.
Okay, do I clear the other dice?
Nope, they're all. It looks like it's all cleared out right now. So you can just go ahead and
d6 submit. Okay.
I am fascinating that you guys are all. Nobody's choosing pips. It's like crazy.
What are
it's
pips?
Cool. The d6 with a p It basically it just means
dots.
it's got pips on it.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sorry, I don't know. Sorry. I love pips. I'm a dork. Okay, I'll just shut up. I'm gonna embarrass myself. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes, but a 1. 7 successes, but a 1. Oh, cool. So now, what do you think this looks like when Paige uses her gadget power? I'm kind of curious. Like, how does the gadget tie into the sprinkler system? What does it look like when you take out a few of the storm pack?
Sure. So cinematography wise, the screen is actually in my glasses, and the domo itself is like a small tablet. And then you'll see the sprinklers like just gush, like it is a torrent. And I think it actually knocks a couple of them over, and they tumble off. Somebody's bike got tipped over. Like, it happens. I'm sorry. Not really.
Nice. Yeah, you knocked over.
Two of them just kind of clamber into each other.
Yeah, man, it's the kind of thing where they like scatter out onto the street, and one of them gets washed down by the gutter. And
they're coughing because they've
yeah, I hailed something without my dolls. Awesome. That is fantastic.
And I'm sure there's chemicals in that little bit of that chemicals in the water, right? Like, that's just how it works. So it's not pleasant.
Yeah, there's one guy who's like, he's heaving. He's very.
Well, thank goodness there's no electricity at their feet or something.
That would be very unlucky if that were to happen. We need to check in with Blackstone. Blackstone, as you see, Paige has just unleashed a small flood upon the storm pack. Their leader, Chrome Dome, jumps off of his bike because he knows you're a Ford F-150. He jumps off his bike and he's coming for you. What do you do?
Well, as all of this stuff was going on, I had run off into the alley.
Ooh.
So he sees my truck, doesn't see me.
Oh man!
I come walking out of the alley with the dumpster over my head. Time to take out the trash and huck a dumpster at him.
Holy crap! So yeah, he came walking up and he's like, oh man, and I don't know if you have like a custom license plate or something where he knows that he punches the front of your car. And he skips back a couple of feet, and that's when you throw the dumpster at him. Now, Chrome Dome himself is a major threat. He's the leader of the storm pack. He shaves his head because he started balding a number of years ago. So now he's Chrome Dome proudly, but really, you know that like if he goes a day or two, he has like the hair is just around the ears.
As you do, yeah.
As you do. So yeah, you're gonna throw that at him. He stands a good 6.5 feet tall. He could have been a wrestler, but he's more profitable to be part of the storm pack. Also, he has to work with all those, impure folks in the wrestling thing.
Of course.
So I'm going to say that the difficulty to defeat Chrome Dome is amazing. So you're going to need 6 successes to take him down.
Okay.
Is there any way the team can help with that?
Absolutely. So any one of you who want to pitch into this can.
Well, let me get I'm going to roll my die for my
your spark
stuff.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, 5. So you start with 8.
Okay. So fantastic. We'll do that. And then let me look at my rest of my
Sounds
stuff
like you're
here
being
real quick.
pretty bricky.
Yeah, being totally stupid. I'm using my power to lift up this thing. I'm using all kinds of weird random stuff.
All right,
so I'm using my super mode.
Yep.
It's garbage. Is it true? Hey, this is some. Is it trash day?
It's totally trash day. So
okay, fantastic.
It's full.
It's full. All right, so.
It is full. Cool. So you are being a brick because you're definitely tackling this face and fist first. Being super, you're using your strength here. So that's 7 dice right there. How do you think your body modification is coming in here?
changing the density so that I can actually do all of this. And the whole reason I have a super strength at all is because I'm using my power. So
All right. So that gives you 2 more dice. You have 9 total dice right now. Your difficulty, is, if you recall, was amazing. So do you wish to spend any spark? It sounds like some folks are
I
gonna be
will
helping
spend
you.
1, so that'll pick me to an even 10, and then anybody else wants to stack
I'd like
on
to
that.
help.
Okay. What does it look like when you help? You will be kicking 1 spark. So it's just mark your spark down.
I'm going to rip up a slice of sod.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's there's the curb, then there's like a little 2-foot, 1.5-foot section of grass, and then the sidewalk.
Mhm.
So I'm ripping up that grass and basically making a strip, maybe 2 feet long, and I'm just gonna basically fling it around his face
Oh, nice.
so he can't see.
That is perfect excuse for you to kick a spark to take that up to 11 dice. It sounded like Sleuth, you had an inclination to try to help out. Is there anything you're doing to try to help take out Chrome Dome?
Yes, when Blackstone, when Alex went behind, when I saw Alex go into the alley, I knew that there was a dumpster back there, and I knew he was going to come out carrying a dumpster, and I knew he was going to throw it. I could see from the way that that Earthbound was moving that he was going to pick up sod and throw it at him. I just actually find a little pebble, and right before the sod is about to hit him, I just flick the pebble so it bounces off of his face, which causes him to look at that just as the sod. So he's actually looking right at the sod when the sod wraps around his face.
Nice.
Real quick,
Yes.
do I lose a spark for assisting, or
Yes, if you're helping, you actually sacrifice one of your own spark to give them a bonus die. So you're now up to 12 dice, Blackstone. Did we roll for Earthbound starting spark?
Yeah.
Okay, we just happened to get you back down to 4. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so
good.
I need
12 dice. You need evens.
Let's hope this works. I gotta clear that 1 though. Hold on a second.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be amazing.
Oh shit!
Look at all those ones.
Oh shit!
Oh man, you got 6 successes exactly. But what a Pyrrhic victory for you have lost 4 spark. Okay, that doesn't take you out, but it hurts a lot. So you throw this dumpster. There are a couple of panels of it like rotating in the air. We see like food wrappers, Big Macs that are half eaten. There's like a one of those like green shakes because we're April, right? So it's like a rotten old one of the like green minty shakes from St. Patrick's Day. Like that comes out, slams right into Chrome Dome's head. The dumpster hits like on top of him and skids for halfway across the street. We see the sparks pick up. He's obviously underneath the dumpster, and that's bad, but you made yourself a super obvious target to the remaining few remnants of the storm pack who haven't been washed away or blinded or crashed into each other, and they draw out and they fire on you. They try to light you up with pistols. And you're dense, right? So you've got some armor. You would have taken a total of 4 spark damage, but because you have armor as one of your powers or defense, then that automatically will take that down by 1. So you lose 3 spark from getting shot a bunch of times, and your clothes get holes in it, all like Luke Cage's hoodie, type deal.
Yep.
So we drop you from a 7 to a 4 spark, and you have defeated Chrome Dome. The Storm Pack is in a lot of trouble right now. There are just a few obstinate fuckers who have not given up on you yet, and so I want to check in on Chance.
So yeah, where are these guys relative to the other ones?
So there are, we're going to say there's like 3 storm pack left. I need to mark this clock up. There's basically one piece of the pie left of the remnants of the storm pack. There are 4 guys left right now. They're on their bikes, and they are about half of them are thinking about taking off, but they haven't quite yet because one guy's going to go try to help out Chrome Dome. What do you do?
So, you know that thing about non-specific Asian martial arts?
Mm-hmm.
That includes happening to have throwing things. And I was just at the place picking up some knitting needles.
Knitting needles?
Are you going to
Okay.
throw this knitting needles at this dude?
I'm throwing knitting
This
needles
is amazing.
at their tires.
It's such artistic justice.
So yeah, so I'm using highly trained and maybe a little bit of luck to flap their tires.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to say that is a remarkable difficulty, but because you're doing it from a distance and they are discombobulated, tension is not in effect. So you're just lucky enough that that's how it goes. You're going to need 4 successes. It sounds like you're using both powers, so super is definitely a thing. You're being a bit of a wild card, you crazy needle-throwing, non-specific Asian martial art person. Sounds like it's throwing, so it's hands. So we've got 1 + 3 + 3, that's 7. And then both powers in effect takes it up to 11. Do you wish to spend any spark?
Not yet.
Oh.
11 is probably good enough.
All right. Go ahead and roll 11d6, looking for evens with 4 as your target number. If you succeed, you'll be taking out the remnants of the storm pack.
All right. Boom.
Oh,
Holy crap.
you can thank me now that I said tension wasn't in effect because I kind of wish I hadn't. Gosh, look at those lovely ones and pips and everything. That is either, look at this. This is all either pain or success. That is just amazing. So yeah, is it a thing where you just like fling the needles?
Yeah, it's basically like throwing darts.
I love it. You throwing dart. A couple of the tires go out. One guy rides out on his flat. Another guy ditches and will just take off. The storm pack has been defeated.
I armbar the last guy at the end of the park coming out of the parking lot. Knock him on his ass.
He like comes around the corner and you like armbar him. I love it.
Off the bike.
Paige, what are you doing as these guys are skedaddling, and off in the far distance you finally hear the fire engines starting to come?
She's trying to figure it out.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're coming.
Yes, the fire department is finally coming.
Crap. Well, I'm going to alert the team that the fire department is on its way and give a countdown.
Okay.
Paige,
Yes.
you know that that brand new super tiny bug you just created? You had no idea I knew about it, but I did.
You know about the blue beetle?
Yeah, get one of those blue beetles on one of the guys who are escaping.
Great. All right. I'm gonna pop one on him.
Cool. I think that's just a thing you can do.
I can go jack him.
Yeah, you're awesome. You can bug one of the retreating storm pack. That is easily done. So you guys hear the fire department on its way. The Stitch and Pitch has no longer is burning. Of course, it has quite a bit of smoke damage. Some of the interiors have burned up a good bit, so they're going to be set back a few $1,000s. Unfortunately, Stitch and Bitch ran out of insurance because they had to pay the storm pack before they decided not to. So
I'm sorry. Did you say that their insurance is an issue?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they don't have any.
I'm pretty sure they have a policy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I
So
think that I'm going to private call my paralegal friend
mhm.
and said that there was actually insurance set up on behalf of the. It's basically a shell corporation,
Nice.
and it was
Nice.
brokered through C3, working with his paralegal offices. So the paperwork's already there.
That is awesome. So here's what we're doing. You're doing something that actually ties into a way to restore spark, right? You're doing something good. You're trying to help out people within your neighborhood. So you're going to be making a roll with heart.
Okay.
Now, this is a thing that normal people could do, unfortunately, Paige, right? But you tell me, do you think that because you're using your technology that this is a super action? What do you think?
Yes, because I think I am manipulating the process and utilizing the loopholes that exist because of the connections and information that I have access to.
Okay, cool. So then let's give you, and all you're looking for is evens. Tension is not in effect because that'd be a death spiral trying to restore spark and like burning through. So you're doing a bit of charity work for a member of the neighborhood. So you make your roll, and for every even, you recover a spark. So every even, if you get extra evens, you get more spark back. And of course, if you roll at least one success, then you have successfully discovered that they had insurance all along.
Okay. So by rolling my heart, I have a 2, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But you need to figure out your mode. It feels like you're kind of being the glue to a degree.
I do feel like I'm being the glue. So is that another one?
It sure is.
Okay. And then
That's 6 dice you have right now.
6 dice. Okay. I
Cool.
will roll that.
All right. And we'll just look for evens. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have recovered 4 spark. And that loophole clause already extant insurance policy you discover at Stitch and Bitch will be able to make a claim against a large corporation, and they're even going to file a police report, which they were scared to before, but now it's going to be putting members of the Storm Pack in a bit of hot water. They're going to have to lean on those politicians that they owe favors to, and at some point those favors are going to dry out. So as we come near the end of our time, another aspect of this game is that restoration of spark, right? And so doing charity work is one of the ways you can restore spark. Another thing is you can just go on patrol looking for regular mundane criminals, and with that one you roll super plus heart, you're protecting the neighborhood, kind of do that on upkeep. And then the last way that you can restore spark, I kind of like it, is it's kind of restoring the teamwork. It's scenes between the superpower beings of the player characters where you guys kind of reinvigorate each other. You spend time, maybe go out for a beer, you commiserate, but you are restoring the power of your team by helping each other regain some of your lost spark. And it's also where we can learn a little bit about what makes your hero tick. Does anybody have an idea for a particular scene after all this fight and the aftermath where you might want to do what's called a refresh scene?
I totally have one.
Sweet. So where's this at?
It's at the Stitch and Bitch.
Oh, nice. In the burned out Stitch and Bitch, or is this?
I am. Over the course of the next little while, I spend some time cleaning out and helping rebuild the Stitch and Bitch.
That is really cool. I like that a lot.
And meanwhile, one of the reasons I was stopping there was to pick up their tax forms.
Cool.
So I'm gonna comp them their taxes because they didn't. It's an emergency, so they get their taxes done free.
Nice.
And I've convinced my boss to send them a couple free pizzas. So.
Like, all right, we get called our taxes, free pizza. Like, you guys all coming together. The members of Stitch and Bitch, which I think it's like an older female couple, and they felt like they were going to be ruined because they decided to stand up to the Storm Pack, and you guys came to rescue.
Hey, Slim, can you help them figure out what the next major trends are going to be that they should stock in their shop?
That's awesome. So now they're like, oh, well, if we got to rebuild, we might as well get the new stuff, right?
You got to get that Cascade Merino wool action.
And Gladys is like, no, I was thinking more like llama wool. And
bamboo. Yeah, bamboo.
Sweet. So then I think that is an amazing series of things. So in the bonding scenes, I think that would be 3 spark back to each individual superpower, being each player character. And we'll bring this to a close. What I'd like to see is just an idea of like an epilogue scene, so you guys can kind of tie a bow. This could be the post-credit sequence in a cool Marvel-style movie. You could set yourself up for your own solo comic, or just show us a few quiet moments of your character. It's kind of the epilogue for each of your characters, and we'll bring this to a close. Let's start off with Chance. So what's the epilogue that we see for Chance at the end of this issue?
For Chance, it's kind of an odd little thing. He's working late. He finishes his job. He goes out and his tires are flat. He's going to go off and do something that, oh man, karma.
Oh man, is it like it just happens to be flat, or do we see sewing needles?
It's a little bit of the karma.
Okay, so a little bit like you did that and the karma came back. That's awesome. I really like that. It circles back on you. What about Earthbound? What do we see as the epilogue for him?
The epilogue is him in the park, and there's a single mother that lives next door to him with a like 11-year-old kid, and he's basically down at the park with this kid, and he's like, "Dude, keep this a secret," and he starts basically making a sandcastle, but it's out of dirt. I just start molding it and stuff, and kind of like he's helping me out. It's like, what should I build? What should I build? You know, he's telling me what to do, you know, and stuff. So,
oh man, that's awesome. Earthbound's the best. That is really, really cool. Paige, what do we see as your epilogue?
She goes ahead and gets back on her Vespa. She drives down Oxenford Cove West, gets back to her building, which is called the Coven. And there is a coffee shop there. And she has put all of her technology away. And she is just writing in her journal with a fountain pen and drinking some coffee that has cute little cat foam.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And it's just having like a little writer's group.
That's really cool. I like that. Man, Paige's life's super cool. Like, she's got a really neat life. What about Blackstone? What is our epilogue for our construction worker?
He's at home, and the next one of the nights he's been working on the place, and then suddenly the entire front of his house gets firebombed from the SS people that know exactly who he is, and they throw a Molotov cocktail, and his house starts going up.
Oh, snap. It's definitely like, to be continued, question mark? Sleuth,
well,
what is your...
I live my life out in the open. The whole town knows me what's going on, and I showed up to stop the Stitch and Bitch shit, so they retaliated against the people they knew.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally legit. That's the reason. Recognize your Ford F-150 is like, oh, son of it's that Blackstone guy.
Pretty much.
That's awesome. What about Sleuth? What's your
it's approaching nighttime, and I'm in an extended care wing of the hospital,
Mhm.
and I'm reading Lord of the Rings to my comatose father. But I get to a point where it's, that's it for the day. I close up the book and I say, I'll see you tomorrow. And as I leave the hospital, I can be seen putting on a black fedora.
Nice. We finally see you in costume. Oh, I love it. The last page is you slipping on that cool black fedora and the scarf. And that would bring the session or the issue to a close. There is a end of session or end of issue thing we're about getting XP. We'll just run through this real quick just so you kind of know how it plays. At the end of every issue, the entire table of the GM and players discuss the following questions. Did you clash with someone who threatened your neighborhood?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you protect the citizens of your neighborhood at least once?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Did you defeat a villain or have a conflict with your rival team?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So for each of those yeses on the group questions, everyone would get 1 XP. So there's 3 XP to everybody. And then there are 2 more solitary or individual questions that I'll ask. And so we'll start, and I'll do it in the order of the character keeper. That's what we call the spreadsheet. So Chance, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations in this issue?
Uh,
Oh, Chance, sorry.
not
It's okay.
so much struggle as take advantage of. So I
Cool.
don't think there was a struggle there.
Okay, and then did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Yes.
I think so. Cool. So that's 1 more XP. So you have a total of 4. Earthbound, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations? I think in the epilogue you did.
Well, not in the epilogue, the beginning of the session. Where
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't
yeah.
know why I flipped Earthbound. But the beginning for Earthbound, definitely a thing that you had to do. And did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Yep.
All right. So you have a total of 5. Paige,
Okay.
did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
I overcome it. So I don't think it was a struggle. I found a way around it.
Yeah, I think you also kind of engaged in some dicey behavior to help out Stitch and Bitch. So I'll say yes on that.
Yeah,
Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
I did.
All right, so that's 5 XP for you. And then Blackstone, that's where I was saying the epilogue. The epilogue, Blackstone definitely struggled with this day.
Yeah.
He burned your house down. Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so that's 4 XP for you. And then we end with Sleuth. Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
You tell me, because I basically had to be super. I didn't have time to put on my costume, so I had to be super while not in costume.
You had to be super well not in costume in front of coworkers
Yeah.
and the whole thing of I think so. Absolutely. I think of anyone, you had one of the biggest, most obvious struggles because you couldn't put on your kick-ass costume. Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Yes, I did.
All right, so that's 5 XP. And then the way the XP works is if you wanted to upgrade your mode, it's your present level times 5. A stat is present level times 3. And then if you ever wanted to buy a new power, it would be 10 XP. And that's how you would increase those things or buy new powers.
And
that
where do we record our XP on the sheet? I don't see it right offhand.
is 29.
It's under your spark.
Yep.
There
I put it in for you.
Got it. I see it there now. Okay.
Cool. So, what did you guys think? Overall feedback, aspects of Hit the Streets that you enjoyed?
I really, really loved it. I mean, maybe it's just the fact that I haven't done supers for a while, because I have gotten burned out on Kapow. I'd been doing Kapow for like 4 or 5 years, and the last couple of sessions, the last couple of story arcs in it, I just were so derivative, that I was not coming up with any new ideas on what to do. But I just like the idea of focusing down on just a neighborhood as opposed to, okay, how can I put the world in jeopardy this time?
I also liked the shared world building and just
I love that.
And having that collective and this idea that to rebuild Spark, you have to get back to your team or your community and how you do that. So I like that interconnectivity to your world and the other players.
Yeah.
Good.
Outside of oh my god, something's on fire, the world's in trouble, it's Tuesday.
Steve, you were going to say something?
No, I was agreeing with a couple of those. The thing that I noticed about it was I like that we build our enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That means we have a little bit more involvement. I kind of want to get back to this world again sometime because it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is. This cove is quite fun.
We got to find the ocean.
You got to find the ocean. You got to find the casino. The casino might be in the ocean. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a very
Yeah, it's got a couple things that it's harder to do
Mm-hmm.
than it is in Capal because you can just invent whatever the hell you want. But that's also it's kind of its weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I like the thing that I like the most about this is just that you can do things. You can like how do I express this? You can affect the world around you in ways that you can't always when someone else is the person creating the adventure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not just in creating your enemies, but also in creating your environment.
Right. One of the things that I've discovered while playing it, like it was a thing that I baked in without even realizing it, is like a lot of the Supers games that I play, the book will define how your powers works, or you pick it and then the GM tells you, how it works. But in Hit the Streets, the angle is more like the player says, I've got this power. And because it's 2 dice, right? You're going to get 2 dice. I really can allow the player to go wild and like, I want to bring in this power because it's 2 dice. So it's not like you're unbalancing anything. It's making it cooler, right? And it also, by bringing your power in, it almost always means you're going to have some tension in effect. So it adds grit to the roll just because you want to do something extra. And that's something I've really enjoyed with it. Did you guys, were there any points of the game? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Tim.
I have something.
Mm-hmm.
It's this feeling or mechanic or something, and I think it would fit.
Okay.
At the beginning, I really did truly enjoy the idea of throwing in an enemy type that the player picks, and then you just go and you roll with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a singular mission type like this, works really well as a one-off. Works fantastically. But in an environment where you're going to be repeatedly going to the well with the same group and the same characters, and you're kind of continuing the storyline,
Mm-hmm.
I would find it almost mechanically useful as a storyteller to make it so that every third time the group gets together or something like that, or some arbitrary number you decide, the players have to pick another faction. And now whether they use that faction during that gameplay or not, whatever, but over the course of time, there's multiple building factions that have the possibility of foiling it.
Yeah, it's
So
not
like
some
that's-
event or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that way it's not just the one thing of the day and whatever and bloody blah blah whatever. So basically, like in the games that Keith has run for us, he's built like this Bible of history of a town or a city or whatever, and then he has like this back catalog of villain types that he pulls from, and so basically, pick your villain, but that villain is going to be in this world forever, so you're going to have to be happy with it. And just basically just keep going with it down that route, and then that all of a sudden you'll find out like faction A is working with faction B, and suddenly they've made a deal, and now they're underneath faction C that is the overlords of this town, and blah. And then you can like, as the storyteller, put those pieces together, but the playership is still providing you the actual physical parts.
Yeah, kind of like in Daredevil.
Yeah.
If you want to go pure comic on this, look at how they play that out in the Ben 10 or in
Yeah.
what's the other one, Kim Possible,
Yeah.
which is another one which is very like the way this game plays.
Mm-hmm. So for a one-off, this is a perfect thing. But as you go
You're
on
right, it
later
could
and
get-
later
it-
in the game, it would be a
It'll
little.
get samey. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
always going against your rival every time, it's
But
like,
if you
oh, shit,
if
we
the
need to do
players
them
are
again?
forced to pick, at a certain interval, there's going to be another faction, and you're going to have to deal with it.
So this is
I
for like
don't
your
know.
story arcs.
I
You know.
I like that idea, but I don't know about making it
Mechanic.
well, I don't know about a mechanic, but a every third session you have to do this.
Regardless of what the number is, you could figure out and play with it and figure out what's going on. But basically, make it and so that it removes the sameness, because it's not if we want to, it's no, you must.
Yeah, and it could be a thing that could be requested by players or
maybe if the GM is feeling stuck, or just like I was doing in Kapow, just like I got to that point in Kapow where I was running out of ideas. Maybe if I had a session like this, okay, we need bad guys, or we need a faction or something to spark my maybe I, as the GM, instead of just dropping Kapow, which is essentially what I did, and started playing other games, which I've enjoyed playing the other games, but I really like doing Supers again. I mean, this was just
Supers is fun.
This was very polished.
Oh, Tim, no, I really appreciate this feedback, and the other aspects. I kind of imagine it like, well, it's a new volume, right? It's the new volume of the comic series where we've tilted, and it's a new thing, or it's a new, that trade paperback is over, and now we're in the new trade paperback.
Like, I could see, this being like a 3 or 4 or 5 part thing where we're trying to beat them back, and then suddenly the reason we find out that we have to pick another faction is because these people were the power behind the thugs. And now we have to go. We finally discovered what was driving them, and then we have to go and deal with that. And then it's like, as you kind of keep beating the machine, you keep finding more bad guys in the woodwork. And
one of the things I liked about Blades in the Dark is there was a whole host of factions that could be as a result or impacting you personally, or in your neighborhood or the group.
Yeah, a larger world is always a good thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, a larger world was kind of outside the scope of this game.
Yeah.
Is all about
that's
the
one thing
neighborhood.
that's one thing I did want to kind of circle back to, is that if you look at if you do the math of how much XP you get per session, what it takes to raise, this game is built for really, to me, sweet spot is some between 8 and 12 sessions. And then you start to top out to where your power set is not really street level anymore. So it's specifically designed to be, there's a point where you put it to bed. This is like a BBC series, not an American TV show.
So
Yes.
you'd either need to build in a path forward to a larger scale, or a reset of
not so much a larger scale as, imagine this: you're in town A, or you're in starter town A, and you discover and you beat back this problem, and then you find out that there was a neighboring city that was driving this group, and you got to go to that town and start fresh in that town with less stuff, and you could go and basically be roving bands of street level heroes, kind of cleaning up, states.
You guys are all roadies for a band.
This is the scope trick with.
Or you very well could be a set of traveling superheroes that you go from town to town to town, and be you could be a band for all you wanted to know, and then you'd still you'd fight crime and all that shit too. I mean, you could do that.
That's I really want to see that tilt now. The vigilante band. I want to buy that comic.
Gem.
Oh God, it's like Jim. That's great. This, Tim, and because you kind of kicked it off, but all this conversation around the idea of new volumes, new threats to help out with the GM, I'm definitely going to see if I can sneak in a page, because the layout isn't done and he hasn't gotten to the GM section. So I'm gonna.
The guy doing layout is going to hate you, isn't he?
Yeah.
I apologize for your strife and ire, but yeah, basically making it and so that that it's not if they want to have somebody else. Oh no, it's going to happen, but you get to pick your poison.
Well, the neighborhoods,
another thing though.
They change.
Yeah,
right.
Here's another thing here.
And that's another thing that I love about having that map, like whether it's a physical map, if you got a face-to-face group, or you have the Google Drawing or whatever else, is like the Stitch and Bitch. Like I would draw in that the Stitch and Bitch is now there. Right before it was just this office park, or this not office park, but like a strip mall. And now we know the Stitch and Bitch is there. And if you guys had to come back and help with the insurance and everything, it would just be this burned out husk. Right, it would be a thing that's destroyed for the neighborhood, and maybe something moves in there, and maybe it just sits vacant, with cardboard or not cardboard, plywood over the windows.
Yeah.
Steve, did you have a comment?
Yeah. Did you?
The whole comic book thing, where you're describing it in terms of comic books, and I've seen that in a couple other games. You'd need to focus that, especially to the front in the GM how-tos, because that gives a flavor that is missing from a bunch of other games. I think that really helps you to think in terms of comics.
I agree. I think it's a thing where you play supers, but I vacillate between TV shots and angles and comic book stuff. I'm sure that's I mix my metaphors, because that's just the thing I do when I start speaking extemporaneously, but having a clear focus of trying to make it comic booky is the best way to make sure that you convey the information. It's fun too, because you can do things like my thought bubble of the stuff that I'm saying, and this goes off panel, and that's really fun. I'm glad you're out there. Now, I meant to ask you guys this, and I want to make sure I do it before I let you go. Were there any points of the game that were like confusing or frustrating, or just any aspect of tonight's session that we're like, oh, that was a missed opportunity, or there's aspects of the rules
short? I want to keep playing. I want to.
Not the game, maybe the book.
What do you mean?
I was reading through the book trying to fit before I pre-funked for the game session, and I'm trying to figure out as a new player. All right, normally there is a section of the book. I'm wondering if I just missed it. Okay, I looked for it, but basically it's the everything knocked down, the minimum of what you need to get things running as a player, and like basically you have the sheet here, this fill outable form, which we have where we're looking at the Hit Streets team document. And is this going to be like are you going to like give a PDF for like an Excel spreadsheet for the game, or are you going to have like a real sheet?
There's a character sheet at the end right here.
Okay, maybe it just took a while for it to try to render, because I didn't see anything at the end of the sheet.
Page 60.
Yeah, it's pretty far deep in the document, because it's a Google Doc. It takes forever to get the stuff at the end. But I do have a character sheet, but I think a cheat sheet on character creation is a really good suggestion, though.
Yeah.
It's basically, okay, as a player, what do you need? You need this with these things, and this, and you're good to go.
And remember where we were talking about how Keith always makes us have defense? So yeah. I wasn't thinking in terms of that, but I had my
it's
power.
So ingrained in us now, we don't even bother to think about it.
My power 2 is one that could be used for defensive. It's just an aware defensive rather than an auto. And so, yeah, it's a. Do you want to suggest that people keep in mind certain things based on certain rules, because having the armor effect reduces the damage that happens to your spark?
I think that's mentioned in the book. That's part of the reason why I drew up the character that I did, because I knew that power worked that way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a walk down of the powers in the book, but I think a cheat sheet on character creation that you could have, like say you go to a con and you just slide that out onto this, and people go, "Oh, okay, cool," because I've got it in the spreadsheety thing where it says this starts at 3, this is 2, but I don't have it on the character sheet itself because I wanted to keep the design clean, but having a little call out of maybe even taking the character sheet and having just a couple call out boxes like this is your character creator, cheater, helper. That's a good thing. Any other notes or points of confusion you guys had?
For me, I like dealing with NPCs and using that to flesh out characters. I don't know. There's through the book. I just got through a couple pages.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you go into that.
Yeah, I talk a bit. It's weird, right? Because in more conventional superhero games, those NPCs often they'll have some kind of stats, and since it's a player-facing thing, it's not like they would have stats; they just have descriptions. So I talk a little bit about how to utilize NPCs, how to create them, how to warehouse them, and make sure that they are conducive to the story that the characters are trying to tell. But I think,
NPCs and allies, and
I'm sure you've run this quite a many amount of times that you'd have to build a good internal mental stable of archetypes that you could pull from, because that you could piecemeal into like we decided to pick a biker gang, and so you needed a leader that does a certain amount of things and other stuff, and you just fleshed everything else out. But if we ended up in like a big like argument or talking match of these people, you'd have to like figure out how they worked kind of on the fly. And I'm trying to figure out.
Well, figuring out how an NPC is going to operate. I mean, that's kind of what GMs do.
Well, yeah. But usually there are certain types of people that do that well on the fly, and there are certain types of people that don't.
Yeah.
They have to like dream the character up 2 days ahead of time and like talk about what they want to talk about and act and figure out what they want to do, and then they do it all out, and then they can piecemeal like ad hoc responses, but they can't do the whole character on the fly.
right?
Yeah. So there's one comment I had in a general sort of way about stats.
Mhm.
Jaw, to refer to the slangy term to jawing someone to death for talking. But because it's a body part metaphor going on there, I was thinking of jaw as being whether or not you have a glass jaw.
Yeah, I thought that too until I clicked on it. I thought it was a defense thing.
And that was entirely. Oh, he means the other version of jawing.
Yeah, I keep thinking of a strong jawline as something that can take a hit.
That's really interesting. I may stick like a little call it of like, no, this doesn't mean a glass jaw. It's about you talking and using your jaw to.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good, because that never even occurred to me, but you pointed out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could see that if I were coming into this and didn't know what I meant by jaw. That might be an assumption.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
And jaw is a slang term for talk. But,
Right.
And that's how it's used. But
Exactly. Okay, cool. This is really helpful. Thank you guys so much for taking some extra time here at the end.
I had a great time. It was great.
This is fun.
Awesome. Good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast because I need sleep. It was really nice to be able to hang out and game with you guys again.
Yes,